Yeah. Sabir Bey. Truth don't play. Law, history, culture, hip hop. All with it, all with it. Yo, we in the cipher, light sparking through the veil. Truth and motion, let the ancestors inhale. From the Moorish courts to the cosmic scrolls, he decoding lies that been hidden in goals. Sabir B, the name ring through the booth. He break down laws and lace you with the proof. From Dr. Woodson's text to the streets we roam, he bringing intellect right back to the throne. All with it, Sabir B, building up minds, not breaking the youth. Hey, yo, truth don't sway. Be building up minds, law, history, culture, hip hop every day. Mic check. This ain't no fairy tale spin. He bringing Moorish law right back to your skin. Mind sharp like a blade from Kemet's forge. Blueprint solid. He the truth's own source. Cameras rolling. The wisdom broadcast. Facts hit hard. Never watered a mask. He bridging the gap between the block and the scroll. That's intellectual combat. Food for the soul. All with it. From the matrix to the Moorish way. Let's elevate. All with it. Keep truth. Pure flame, this the real update. We ain't talking about no surface knowledge. We talking history, law, sovereignty. The real blueprint that unlocks the chain. Ancient vibes through the mic and translate. Each broadcast opening up the gate. Pan-African mind with that Moorish spark. God and lost tribes through the global dark. No cap, this that Griot code in motion. Truth tsunami, pure mind ocean. So tune in, lock in, set your mental straight. It's a big beat show. Yeah, the vibe too great. Oh, with it. The show. We building up minds, not breaking the youth. But yo, truth. We building up minds, wall, history, culture, hip hop every day.
What up? So listen, what's going on, everybody? Let's make sure we popping. So we're not on TikTok until I gotta fix my, you know what I mean? Some dudes wish they had hair like this. So listen, y'all, we're gonna do this we're gonna have some fun, y'all. I want y'all to join the cipher. So we're not gonna be on TikTok. Oh shoot, until the second, like I care. So let me clean my glass on X. So this is how we're gonna do this. If you disagree with what I'm saying, feel free. I am fine. My mom raised us and my father raised us very tough. So if you disagree with me, I'm fine with that. Okay, we need men to start being men and man up and start saying what's the problem. So I sent this out to a lot of people. Shout out to my sister April in the Shy. What up, sis? So I don't want people to be coming on this feed to just type. I do open up the lines for people, but I won't be arguing with anyone. And I want you to do me a favor, and I need y'all to do this real quick because if we're not on TikTok, we're on X right now. I'll be back on TikTok on the 2nd, whenever they allow it to go back up. So it doesn't matter to me. But anywho, I'm on the West Coast and it's 2:15 p.m. So about 5 something on the East Coast. So there is no excuse. So if you're an expert in the Constitution, come on down. So if you're an expert in the Constitution, step to the cipher. And remember this, I need you to show me some facts. I don't care about your feelings, bro. I really don't. So show me some facts and we can be here. All right. So if you disagree, I'm fine with that. But bring me some facts. So if you're an expert, somebody go get Tariq Nasheed too, because these niggas is crippling. So I'm going to play some more music real quick while y'all go share it out to Michael Imhotep. Somebody share this to Roland Martin too, because I would like to. Y'all think we should have a sit-down conversation on the Constitution? What y'all think? Should we have a sit-down conversation and people just pull out the Constitution? What y'all think about that? Tell me what y'all thoughts are. Y'all ain't got to type. Let me put up the link up here. You ain't got to type. So watch the same two people always come on my feed every day. That's my brother Jarrell, and that's my brother Rod. Watch how this works. The same two people going to click that link right there. Watch. Jarrell and Rod. So we're going to make this very clear. If you disagree with what I'm saying, I am so fine with it. But if you're an expert, and I'm going to present some stuff to y'all, okay? So if you're an expert in the Constitution or voting, come on over here. So Constitution and voting, okay? Those two things. So I'm going to speak very, very clear to y'all, all right? So the only two people that always come on my feed is Jarrell and my brother Stan. The rest of these niggas just sit back ear hustling. So maybe y'all need to go get Roland Martin at Roland Martin, and please send this, because Tariq and I's on the same time. Please send it here too. These niggas are reactionary people, brother. I want to know how much Tariq Nasheed knows about voting or the Constitution. So I must speak very, very clear, people. So don't keep thinking it's Sabir. I'm going to speak very clear. So let's get this thing rolling, y'all. Share it out. Roland Martin Unfiltered, Michael Imhotep from African History Network, Tariq Nasheed, and whoever else. So we are on X, y'all. So please share this out on X. And I literally put it on X too. Is if you're an expert in the Constitution, if you're an expert, in this, the Constitution, step on up.
Most of my Latino and Black people who are struggling to get food, clothes, and shelter in the hood are so concerned with that philosophizing about freedom and socialist democracy is usually, unfortunately, beyond their rationale. They don't realize that America can't exist without separating them from their identity. Because if we had some sense of who... Most of my Latino and Black people who are struggling to get food, clothes, and shelter in the hood are so concerned with that philosophizing about freedom and socialist democracy is usually, unfortunately, beyond their rationale. They don't realize that America can't exist without separating them from their identity. Because if we had some sense of who we really are, there's no way in hell we'd allow this country to push its genocidal consensus. Most of my Latino and Black people who are struggling to get food, clothes, and shelter in the hood are so concerned with that philosophizing about freedom and socialist democracy is usually, unfortunately, beyond their rationale. They don't realize that America can't exist without separating them from their identity. Because if we had some sense of who we really are, there's no way in hell we'd allow this country to push its genocidal consensus on our homelands. This ignorance exists, but it can be destroyed. Niggas talk about change and working within the system to achieve that. The problem with always being a conformist is that when you try to change the system from within, it's not you who changes the system, it's the system that will eventually change you. There is usually nothing wrong with compromising a situation, but compromising yourself in a situation is another story completely. And I have seen this happen long enough in the few years that I've been alive to know that it's a serious problem. Latino America is a huge colony of countries whose presidents are cowards in the face of economic imperialism. You see, third world countries are rich places, abundant in resources, and many of these countries have the capacity to feed their starving people, and the children we always see digging for food and trash on commercials. But plutocracies, in other words, a government run by the rich, such as this one, and traditionally oppressive European states, force the third world into buying overpriced, unnecessary goods while exporting huge portions of their natural resources. I'm quite sure that people will look upon my attitude and sentiments and look for hypocrisy and hatred in my words. My revolution is born out of love for my people, not hatred for others. You see, most of Latinos are here because of the great inflation that was caused by American companies in Latin America. Aside from that, many are seeking a life away from the puppet democracies that were funded by the United States. Places like El Salvador, Guatemala, Peru, Colombia, Nicaragua, Ecuador, and República Dominicana. And not just Spanish-speaking countries either, but Haiti and Jamaica as well. As different as we have been taught to look at each other by colonial society, we are in the same struggle. And until we realize that, we'll be fighting for scraps from the table of a system that has kept us subservient instead of being self-determined. And that's why we have no control over when the embargo will stop in Cuba or when the bombs will stop dropping in Vieques. But you see, here in America, the attitude that is fed to us is that outside of America, there live lesser people. Fuck them, let them fend for themselves. No, fuck you. They are you. No matter how much you want to dye your hair blonde and put fake eyes in, or follow an anorexic standard of beauty, or no matter how many diamonds you buy from people who exploit your own brutally to get them, no matter what kind of car you drive or what kind of fancy clothes you put on, you will never be them. They're always gonna look at you as nothing but a little monkey. I'd rather be proud of what I am rather than desperately try to be something I'm really not, just to fit in. And whether we want to accept it or not, that's what this culture or lack of culture is feeding us. I want a better life for my family and for my children, but it doesn't have to be at the expense of millions of lives in my homeland. We're given the idea that if we didn't have these people to exploit, that America wouldn't be rich enough to let us have these little petty material things in our lives and basic standards of living. No, that's wrong. It's the business giants and the government officials who make all the real money. We have whatever they kick down to us. My enemy is not the average white man. It's not the kid down the block or the kids I see on the street. My enemy is the white man I don't see. The people in the White House, the corporate monopoly owners, fake liberal politicians. Those are my enemies. The generals of the armies that are mostly conservative. Those are the real motherfuckers that I need to bring it to. Not the poor, broke, country-ass soldier that's too stupid to know shit about the way things are set up. In fact, I have more in common with most working and middle-class white people than I do with most rich black and Latino people. As much as racism bleeds America, we need to understand that classism is the real issue. Yep. Many of us are in the same boat, and it's sinking, while these bougie motherfuckers ride on the luxury liner. And as long as we keep fighting over kicking people out of the little boat we're all in, we're gonna miss an opportunity to gain a better standard of living as a whole. In other words, I don't want to escape the plantation. I want to come back, free all my people, hang the motherfucker that kept me there, and burn the house to the goddamn ground. I want to take over the encomienda and give it back to the people who work the land. You cannot change the past, but you can make the future. And anyone who tells you different is a fucking lethargic devil. I don't look at a few token Latinos and black people in the public eye as some type of achievement for my people as a whole. Most of those successful individuals are just sellouts and house negroes. But I don't consider brothers a sellout if they move out of the ghetto. Poverty has nothing to do with our people. It's not in our culture to be poor. That's only been the last 500 years of our history. Look at the last 2,000 years of our existence and what we brought to the world in terms of science, mathematics, agriculture, and forms of government. You know, the idea of a confederation of provinces where one federal government controls the states? The Europeans who came to this country stole that idea from the Iroquois League. The idea of impeaching a ruler comes from an Aztec tradition. That's why Montezuma was stoned to death by his own people, because he represented...
You don't get it? You black niggas going to be stoned too. Who was Montezuma? That's Montezuma right there. Let's go a little closer. He was stoned by his own people. And these Negroes that try to hide this information is going to be stoned also. That's Montezuma. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Montezuma was stoned because he took the side of the white Spanish. Pay attention again. Let's go.
To the world in terms of science, mathematics, agriculture, and forms of government. You know, the idea of a confederation of provinces where one federal government controls the states? The Europeans who came to this country stole that idea from the Iroquois League. The idea of impeaching a ruler comes from an Aztec tradition. That's why Montezuma was stoned to death by his own people, because he represented the agenda of white Spaniards once he was captured, not the Aztec people who would become Mexicans. So in conclusion, I'm not going to vote for anybody just because they black or Latino. They have to truly represent the community and represent what's good for all of us proletariat. Porque si no, entonces, porque si no, entonces, mathematics, agriculture, and forms of government. You know the idea of the Confederation of Provinces, where one federal government controls the states? The Europeans who came to this country stole that idea from the Iroquois League. The idea of impeaching a ruler comes from an Aztec tradition. That's why Montezuma was stoned to death by his own people, because he represented the agenda of white Spaniards once he was captured, not the Aztec people who would become Mexicans. So in conclusion, I'm not going to vote for anybody just because they black or Latino. They have to truly represent the community and represent what's good for all of us proletariat. Porque si no, entonces te mando pa'l carajo, cabrón, gusano, hijo de puta. Seramos libres pronto. ¡Viva la revolución! ¡Viva la revolución!
Shut up, the Mortal Techniques. Y'all don't get it yet? I know some of y'all going to run because this is not the type of conversation y'all want to have. But if you're an expert in the Constitution, of anybody that's trying to get into politics, please come to the cipher. Please step up right now. Okay? If you're one of those people that wants to be a part of this, believe me, you are definitely going to get stoned to the book. So please step to the platform. You know the crazy part about all of this? I put this out here every single day. And I ask people to join this cipher, right, with some facts. I don't care about you disagree with me, but bring up the Constitution or something. Bring up the Constitution. Don't just show me the Constitution or the state constitution. Now, I'm not trying to get into politics, but we can have a panel discussion on it, no doubt. So, again, if you are an expert in this information or the Constitution, please stand up, because everybody's talking about it. I seen a video, but Roland Martin, my brother Jarrell, said it's no mention of the Constitution. They never even showed y'all the Constitution on Roland Martin's show. That's the craziest thing ever. They never even showed the Constitution. But everybody's talking about the Constitution and their voting right. Let me tell you something. Another thing that didn't happen. Our ancestors didn't die to vote. No, they did not die to vote. They didn't die to vote. So maybe we can get Roland Martin in the cipher. Maybe we can get Tariq Nasheed in here too. Maybe we can get these cats in here, because everybody's talking about voting rights. So let me make this very, very clear for all of you. The Constitution, listen closely. And again, if y'all have an issue with Sabir, please jump on the feed, because I'm going to make you read or do some type of research, right? There's nowhere in the Constitution. Now, I don't know how many of y'all read the Constitution, but I'm going to give y'all what it looks like. Something like this. It doesn't say black people in here, right? Now, this is the kicker. It don't say black people in the Constitution. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading something. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, because there's nowhere in there it said it. Blacks. Listen to me closely. Black people had a right to vote. It's not in there. It's like education. It's not in there either. So the crazy part is, I do this every single day to challenge everybody, even to challenge me. So you will leave and look for somebody that looks intelligent. Remember Mortal Techniques said you dress up, try to look and play the part? Nigga, trust me. I'm not impressed with that. So everybody's talking about the Voting Rights Act. It's not a right. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. So they can take it at any time they want to take it. Yo, there's a series on Netflix. I don't know if y'all saw this. Did you see this Netflix series? It's called Django. It's called New Babylon. Anybody saw that? Y'all should check it out. There's a series on Netflix, right? And they always make these movies, bro. Like, seriously, put it right in front of your face. There's a movie on Netflix called New Babylon, and it's about Django. So, of course, Django in this particular movie is a European, a so-called white guy. So, and these brothers are on like land that was given to them. And they was talking about the paperwork, how his slave master gave him the deed to the land. So now they are fighting in the courtroom about it. So that he said he hires this European, this white guy. And in the series, he's talking about he had the paperwork. Now it's two paperworks. And the white attorney dude said, he said, well, they're not gonna he was summons to court. So he goes and says, well, I have the deed. So they said they're not gonna believe you. Because once you step outside, and I need y'all to listen to me closely. Okay, I know Roland Martin don't explain this to y'all, but I want y'all to understand this. Okay, this is very simple. There's a thing called territories. If y'all don't understand that, if you know the Dred Scott case, So the Dred Scott case will be this. This is the Dred Scott case. This is the Dred Scott case, the whole case, right? So in the movie New Babylon, they was in a territory of their own. They gave them a territory. So it's called New Babylon. It's called Django. It's on Netflix. So he was summoned to court. So he said, the European girl that he was messing with said that they're not going to believe you because you're a Negro. So he said, well, my attorney is not one. So it's a white guy that comes in. So the white guy made him an ultimatum. He said, yo, you know what you should do? Pack up and leave the village. Pack up and leave and he showed him the deed. So my point, I'm helping y'all out. I'm explaining some stuff to y'all. So no matter what paperwork you have or what degree that you have, it's your knowledge, B. It's the knowledge. So you can have all the driver's license, all the voting card, all these beautiful things. Nigga, they can just tear it up. Go watch 12 Years a Slave. Go watch 12 Years a Slave, B. But the one thing that I'm catching, that none of these dudes are telling our people who they are or having these discussions on who we are, but you're telling black people. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe an expert should come on the feed with me. They're telling black people that our ancestors died for us to vote. Where's that Where's the information at? Can somebody get an expert on the cipher with me? They're telling people, black people, that your ancestors died to vote. What ancestors died to vote? I'm waiting. Which one of our ancestors died for us to vote? I can get on the phone right now and call a couple of people up and trying to figure this one out. Come on, y'all. It's kind of quiet on here. Where y'all at? Y'all scared to hit the cipher? Or you going to call somebody like Sanetta do? Sanetta call everybody except Jesus Christ. Guess what? Sabir is in the room right now. Yeah. You want to challenge him? So where is it anywhere at in the Constitution that it said it made black people even citizens, not even voting? Have you ever seen Roland Martin pull out a Constitution? Have you ever seen Tariq Nasheed pull out a Constitution? But they're telling you that your ancestors died for us to vote. No, they did not. Do y'all understand or overstand this? Do you even know what this is? Come on, y'all. Come on. Do anybody even know what this is? This is the Emancipation Proclamation. What is the Emancipation Proclamation? It's not even a law. It's a public announcement. This is a public announcement. So the thing that we should be fighting for, we're not fighting for. The thing that we should be fighting for, we're not fighting for. Maybe I'm wrong. So emancipate and proclamate means to be set free and proclaim. Emancipate means set free and to proclaim. So why are we telling our people about that part? I'm just asking. Why are we not telling our people about that part? Emancipation Proclamation is a public announcement. It's not a law. So when you go back and you watch certain old movies, they talking about being in the territories. So let's see if we can pull up something with Roland Martin. Maybe we can get the expert Roland Martin or Michael Imhotep to the cipher. Let's see if we can get Michael Imhotep or Roland Martin to the cipher. Dr. Greg Carr. Somebody. Come on, y'all. Too much intro.
Folks, in Florida, the state house there has passed Governor Ron DeSantis' proposed congressional map, which could enable Republicans to flip up to 4 seats. Representative Angie Dixon, who's running for U.S. Senate, she was not happy, and she took to the floor with a bullhorn. The Virginia Supreme Court has chosen not to overturn a lower court ruling and block the implementation of last week's redistricting election results. They still are deciding that as well. In South Carolina, and who was one of the 3, she says that for all intent and purposes, what they've done is turn the Voting Rights Act into a name-only law.
Well, exactly. It's like you have rights on paper, but no remedy in fact.
Hold up. Where do they get these dudes from? Like, I'm trying to figure, hey, yo, somebody got to jump into the cipher with it. Help me out. Where do they get these dudes from? A right cannot be taken from you unless you give it up. Do you understand that? A right cannot be taken unless you give it up. It's not a right. Just bear with me. If I'm wrong, please bring the expert Roland Martin.
Court has made it incredibly difficult. It's actually usurped Congress's authority. You know, back in 1982, Lionel Gwynne and others helped to get the amendments in 1982 to make clear that there was an effect standard. It wasn't just intentional discrimination based on the Bass Supreme Court decision out of Mobile, Alabama. Now, Justice Alito and the majority of the court has essentially overwritten that by basically changing Section 2, saying, we don't like that. We're going back to the glory days of the way it was. And that means that we have to prove intentional racial discrimination to get any kind of remedy. So this thing is bad all the way around. But look, let's just be clear for broader context, Roland. Black people we've never had fair representation in this country. As long as there have been elections in this country, there's been racial discrimination in voting. That's why we needed a Voting Rights Act. That's why we needed a 15th Amendment to ensure that our rights to vote were on the bridge.
Stop.
And I've been saying this as well.
Stop right there. He said the 15th. Let me ask y'all this question. Have y'all read the 15th Amendment? Did anybody read the 15th Amendment to the Constitution? Come on, y'all, let's have some fun. Have y'all read the 15th Amendment? Where does it say black people at in the 15th Amendment? Wait a minute. Pick up the Constitution. Come on, man. Where's the Constitution experts? I can show y'all on here, though. It says race, color, or previous condition of servitude. That could be anybody. I see it. Black people. Listen to me again. Black people. Hold up. Matter of fact, let's pull up the Constitution. Give me 1 second. Where? Y'all don't get it, bro. Like, where? Somebody, please. If you, and this is the thing, I'm going to call everybody's bluff. Where is it at in the Constitution that it says that? Black people. And these are the people, the same people that Mortal Technique was talking about. These are the ones you're going to have to bust in their heads, bro. That's why Montezuma was stoned by his own people. If I'm wrong about anything, bring me the experts in anything pertaining to the Constitution. Let's go.
That this decision could be the largest wipeout of black political power since the end of Reconstruction. That's how devastating this decision is.
Well, she's probably right. We don't know the exact impact of it, but all you can say good about it is it could have been worse. They could have taken the entire Voting Rights Act down. They didn't. but what Lawyer Hewitt was just saying is by requiring an intent, you've made it virtually impossible to prove a case. People are sophisticated. They know what words to use and what words not to use. And as he has indicated, since African Americans are voting overwhelmingly Democratic and Republicans are voting overwhelmingly Republican, you can have a map that discriminates against African Americans. But if you call it partisan, that your target was Democrats, the same map, according to these people, becomes legal. So that didn't make any sense.
Okay,
It's here. You see, right?
we're gonna try to. So if y'all confused about, I'm confused about what the hell they are talking about. But let's go a little further. So can I get somebody on the feed with me so we can communicate? This is called two-way talk because they said territories, right? They're talking about territories. Bear with me 1 second. This is when the law comes in, okay? So just in case y'all don't know what I'm talking about, that's when the law comes in. Just bear with me. So I'm gonna give y'all a couple. This is wild, bro. So give me 1 second. Let's pull up the law books. So I'm not even a person that votes, bro. I'm gonna be real with y'all, but this is getting out of hand and out of control. This is a bookshelf. This is called the Federalist Papers. This is a law dictionary. That's a law dictionary. That's a law dictionary. That's a law dictionary. So they are all law dictionaries, people. Every last one of them. So if you in law school, right, you get those books right there. Okay, if you're in law school. Now I just sent this to Judge Joe Brown, and I sent this to my brother, Judge Alvin Ross. And again, it's your own people, brother. It's your people. That's the problem. It's not the boogeyman or the white man. It's black people. So those are law dictionaries. So let me see if I can go to territory for 1 second. And I'm going to go back to Roland Martin in a minute. So they are talking about territorial. So let me show y'all something. And black folks are subject to the territories. That's why I said go watch that movie New Babylon on Netflix. Oh, that joint is crazy. If they stepped outside of that territory. So here's the territories according to law, which Roland Martin and them don't never show you, nor do Michael Imhotep. So a territory is a portion, is a part of a country separated from the rest, subject to particular jurisdiction of geographical area under the jurisdiction of another country in sovereign power. Now, that's what they're dealing with. So if you black folks, and I need y'all to hear me, black folks, right, are what? Subject to DC. Are you following me? I don't know who this is. You want to come to the feed with me? Come on the feed, family. Anybody wants to come to the feed? Let's go. So if you're confused about what I'm saying, please, closed mouths don't get fed. So DC is a district. It's a district. So they have jurisdiction. This is why the Constitution says all persons born are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Okay. Okay, I don't know who this is, but bear with me. Give me 1 second. All right. There's not the time to play. No, we ain't got time to play, brother. Don't worry about it. We're just going to get rid of them. So real people want to come to the cipher. Let's go to the cipher. I told you, bring me your experts. Let's go. Don't worry about them, brother Ty. You know I got this thing locked, stock, and barrel, brother. So the territories, what they're arguing, they have the right to do that. They have the right to do that because black folks are property of the federal government. And I'm going to prove all these things to you, okay? Very simple. Very, very simple. All right? So if you don't like what I'm saying, feel free. Come hang yourself. So territorials. So let's go back to Roland Martin. Now this one, I'm going to lay this out for y'all so y'all can see how this goes. Territories. So you're not going to get this on Roland Martin show or any of these cats that y'all be watching on these platforms. So let's go back to Roland Martin one more time, okay? And again, if you're an expert in the Constitution, please step to the forefront.
Right here, the graphic here, white turnout, how it is above 70%. Black turnout dipped in 2024 below 60%. You see AAPI in the mid 50s, Latino turnout at around 50%.
Where's the Constitution at, Roland?
You look at that line, you see right there, 2008, 2012, black turnout was at its highest ever, and you see it exceeded the white turnout. But ever since then, you see that white number, that black line going up and that blue line going down. Michael, what I have been saying, I have been yelling to black people, is that you cannot expect to change politics if your power is sitting at home. I have been saying that black political turnout has to be at a minimum of 70% turnout to counter white turnout. And what's problem is, whether it's Louisiana or so many other places, if we're turning out at 52, 55, 57, ain't good enough. Our turnout has to be minimum 70. It has to be 75, 78, 80, 82, 85, 90. And if we vote in those numbers, we actually win races. We win statewide races. You got two folks who are running on the Democratic side for the Supreme Court in Georgia. That's winnable. They just won 2 seats of the Public Service Commission. You got the primary coming up, and you got folks who are running for state attorney general and other races. But we are not going to be able to counter any of this when too many of our people are checking out of the process.
Let me explain this to y'all also. This guy right here in the suit and tie looking like with a noose around his neck, Michael Imhotep, is funny. He's a butt kisser. That dude, that light-skinned dude right there, he's from Detroit. That Negro's a butt kisser, homie. Straight up. And he's butt kissing Roland Martin and everybody else. So yes, he's a butt kisser. So if Michael is watching this video, he know how to get on here. He know how to call me. He has my cell phone number. Mike got my cell phone number, no doubt. But they're butt kissers. But bear with me 1 second. Pull out the Constitution. Y'all got all these books behind y'all. Where's these cats at? Yo, where the books at? Pull some Constitution.
Picking the couch, but then complaining about what we don't have. Well, if your ass don't show up, you're guaranteed not to get a damn thing.
You have been talking about it for a long time. You've been screaming and yelling about it for a long time. Politics is not a spectator sport. You have to be involved, and it's all the time. It's not just around elections. It doesn't mean you have to focus your whole life around politics. But just as one of your other guests was speaking earlier, it's also after the election. What do you do to hold folks accountable and keep that pressure up?
Hold them accountable.
For example, we had the Clinton after Clinton won in '92, had the House and the Senate, did nothing about codifying any of these particular laws. Obviously, same in 2008 when Obama won, had the House and the Senate. So we've had these opportunities to do what now Republicans are doing, which is we're not going to play around. When we get power, we're going to use it. It's time for my party, our party, to stop doing the kind of kumbaya, let's all get along, let's be nice, let's try to figure everything out and work together. We're not at that stage anymore. We haven't been for quite some time. Because these folks are playing forget just blood, they're playing to wipe anybody of color out.
Yeah.
And frankly, and women too. I mean, I wish that whether it's Latino voters, Black voters, women voters, had a stronger alliance, because they're coming after anybody that's not a white male. And so this is serious. And frankly, when Justice Alito writes an opinion like that, all he does is walks down the hall and asks Clarence, "You okay with this?" But Alito knows the answer. He knows Judge Thomas is going to say, "Yeah, I'm fine with that." And so that's also part of the problem is the Supreme Court.
We are absolutely there. We saw it spike in some places on immigration where it felt physical. But for a vast majority of us, it's a war around access to benefits, access to resources, access to the ballot, fair representation, all of those things. And we are not acting like it. We have Democrats, excuse me, who are far too passive and comfortable with.
Let's move forward.
Who was on MSNBC, and
this is the butt kisser right here.
He was also on your show, News One Now, in 2016, telling Black people, telling people in general, vote for everything except president. Leave president blank. Okay. And this, once again, this is a consequence of the 2016 presidential elections. I said it on the show before, not just 3 Supreme Court justices, but also about 234 federal judges that Donald Trump got put in place as well, which are lifetime appointments also. And I've talked about the Mississippi State Convention of 1890 here before, and I said, these Republicans, these conservatives, and Project 2025 are trying to take Black people back to the Mississippi State Convention of 1890, where they rewrote the state constitution, imposed poll taxes, literacy tests, but also a felony disenfranchisement law, so that if you were convicted of a felony, you lost your right to vote for life. That law from 1890 is still in place in Mississippi today, okay? And they said, we came here to exclude the Negro. This is explicitly what they said. This is what's taking place right here today. And you mentioned Shelby County versus Holder, 2013 U.S. Supreme Court case. Well, right after that Supreme Court decision, you had states, many of them former Confederate states, started passing voter ID laws.
Yep.
Okay. And in the 2016 presidential election, as a consequence of 2013, there were 1,600 fewer polling places.
Right.
Many of them that were shut down were in Black and Latino districts.
Right.
So
and so right.
2025. This is what we try to warn people against.
So all of that, when you put it together,
what's up, Jarrell? What's up, sis?
Shows a direct attack on Black voters.
What's up, sis? You got to unmute your mic.
Yo, peace.
Yo, this is the weirdest thing ever. So Michael said a whole lot of nothing, right? Where's he said the state constitution? So have you ever seen that dude Michael Imhotep with the state constitution? It looks similar to this. He said the state. You never seen Michael Imhotep pull out a state constitution. He's in Michigan. As Michael Imhotep, where's his state constitution in Michigan? Now, when I go to Michigan, I'm gonna get me one. I'm gonna pick one up. Every let me tell you something. Every state has their own constitution. Did y'all know that? How many of y'all have the state constitution? I know Jarrell probably do. So
they don't know how crazy they sound.
Dude, people think they're smart
to vote.
Listen, people think they're smart because they got these degrees and I went to the white man school. No, nigga, Howard University and all these universities are really European schools. They didn't even show you the Constitution, not one time, but they keep telling you about voting. Go read the 15th Amendment. Go read it. And then you tell me, where's democracy at in the Constitution? It's not even in there. Democracy is not even in the Constitution. Blacks is not even in the Constitution, but it's crazy because they're making things be in the Constitution, but they never read it. But you can tell anybody anything. So democracy, the word democracy does not appear once in the Constitution. This is only 495. They can actually tell Roland Martin, his Black Star team, to actually buy some constitutions and let's have a constitution conversation. Buy some constitutions. So you see how they don't want to have this conversation with me, bro? You think you know it? No, nigga. You looking for somebody with a suit and a tie on, bro? No. Don't go down that way. So we're going to have some fun, Jarrell. So I'm going to say this again. If you're an expert in the Constitution, please come to the feed or share it to somebody. So let me quote something. So the great Carter G. Woodson, y'all know him, right? Y'all know Carter G., right? Y'all know who this man is, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's quote Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Woodson said in The Miseducation of the Negro. I'm gonna quote a couple of parts in his book. He said, not long ago, a measure was introduced in a certain state legislators to have the Constitution thou printed in school history. Hold up, where's my Constitution? To have the Constitution thou printed in school history. But when the bill was about to pass, it was killed by someone who made it the point that it would never do to have the Negroes study the Constitution. He also said that if the Negroes would forget most of the untried theories taught to him in school, if he could see through the propaganda that was instilled into his mind under the pretext of education, if the Negro can see that and sacrifice for the upliftment of his people. Oh, this is all in the miseducation of the Negro. Let's go to another one. He also says, no people can go forward when the majority of those who should know better have chosen to go backwards. And that is exactly what most of our misleaders do. No people can go forward when the majority of those who should know better have chosen to go where? Backwards. And that is exactly what most of our misleaders do. I didn't say that. Oh, this is Carter G. Woodson, if y'all know how to read. So let's go see what Carter G. Woodson said in the miseducation of the Negro. So please bring me your experts to the cipher. Oh.
Battery 90%.
This is actually in this is chapter 9 of the miseducation. This is chapter 9 of the miseducation of the Negro. Listen up, people. If you're an expert, come on down.
Political. Chapter 8.
Oops.
Professional. Chapter 9. Political education neglected. Some time ago, when Congressman Oscar DePriest was distributing by thousands copies of the Constitution of the United States, certain wiseacres were. Chapter 9. Political education neglected. Some time ago, when Congressman Oscar DePriest was distributing by thousands copies of the Constitution of the United States, certain wiseacres were disposed to make fun of it. What purpose would such an act serve? These critics, however, probably did not know that thousands and thousands of Negro children in this country are not permitted to use school books in which are printed the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution of the United States.
Did they say the Declaration of Independence, bro? Did they say this?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go forward.
Thomas Jefferson and James Madison are mentioned in their history as figures in politics rather than as expounders of liberty and freedom. These youths are not permitted to learn that Jefferson believed that government should derive its power from the consent of the governed. Not long ago, a measure was introduced in a certain state legislature to have the Constitution of the United States thus printed in school histories. But when the bill was about to pass, it was killed by someone who made the point that it would never do to have Negroes study the Constitution of the United States. If the Negroes were granted the opportunity to pursue this document, they might learn to contend for the rights therein guaranteed. The teaching of government, or the lack of such instruction, then, must be made to conform to the policy of keeping the Negro in his place. In like manner, the teaching of history in the Negro area has had its political significance. Starting out after the Civil War, the opponents of freedom and social justice decided to work out a program which would enslave the Negro's mind inasmuch as the freedom of body had to be conceded. It was well understood that if by the teaching of history, the white man could be further assured of his superiority, and the Negro could be made to feel that he had always been a failure, and that the subjection of his will to some other race is necessary, the freedman then would still be a slave. If you can control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his action. When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what he will do. If you make a man feel that he is inferior, you do not have to compel him to accept an inferior status. For
Is it registered on your mental Rolodex? You think it's white supremacy? It's inferiority, bro. That's Carter G. Woodson right there. And I'm always in D.C. and I'm gonna show y'all someone. I'm always down there. Roland Martin never said his roly-poly behind in front of that statue, and he's living in D.C. Last time I seen him at the hip hop event out here in L.A., he said he lives down the street from the Capitol. Why he never did a video in front of Carter G. Woodson's monument? He could do a live right there in front of Carter G. and let's break it down. Somebody said it's the Roland Martin.
He will seek it himself. If you make a man think that he is justly an outcast, you do not have to order him to the back door. He will go without being told. And if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one. This program, so popular immediately after the Civil War, was not new. But after this upheaval, its execution received a new stimulus. Histories written elsewhere for the former slave area were discarded, and new treatments of local and national history in conformity with the recrudescent propaganda were produced to give whites and blacks the biased point of view of the development of the nation and the relations of the races. Special treatments of the Reconstruction period were produced in apparently scientific form by propagandists who went into the first graduate schools of the East to learn modern historiography about half a century ago. Having the stamp of science, the thought of these polemics was accepted in all seats of learning. These rewriters of history fearlessly contended that slavery was a benevolent institution. The masters loved their slaves and treated them humanely. The abolitionists meddled with the institution which the masters eventually would have modified. The Civil War brought about by fanatics like William Lloyd Garrison and John Brown was unnecessary. It was a mistake to make the Negro a citizen, for he merely became worse off by incurring the displeasure of the master class that will never tolerate him as an equal, and the Negro must live in this country in a state of recognized inferiority.
Stop. Now, most people would say, Jarrell, that it made them citizens. You know what they made them citizens of? The federal government. Oh, y'all don't believe me? Y'all don't believe me? Let's see if we can find it. You think I'm playing?
Warship status.
Warship status. Hold up. Here it is right here. Oops. Did I do that? Federal citizenship. Oh, I thought, wait a minute. Hold up. That's called federal citizenship right there. Hold up. This is the crazy part. So they don't even understand what is a territory. Why is a territory? Did you see that Netflix special, brother? It's called The New Babylon.
No, I'm at peep that.
Brother, you gotta watch it. It's called New. I'm like every night I sit back and I watch a part, then I pause for a minute, and be like, hold up. Wait a minute. It's called New Babylon. I know most black folks probably wouldn't see it, but it's at Django. It's called Django. Here it is. I'm gonna help you out. But it talks about New Babylon. You got to punch in Django. Here it is. It's on that. It's called Django. But the white dude is Django. So watch it. Yo, crazy as hell, bro. I'm sitting here bugging like how they mixed all this into it. And it's talking about the war and how his slave master gave him property. And I was like, nigga, that's almost sound like the Dred Scott case, nigga. So I don't know if y'all familiar with the Dred Scott case. If y'all need to get a copy of it, let me know. I have the whole case. Okay. So it was a territory. I'm an American, so my stuff says American. I'm not a United Statian. There's a total difference. If anybody's confused, if you're an expert in any of these things, please let me know. Come to the feed. So a territory, let's go back to what a territory is, brother. We're gonna school them real fast. So please keep tweeting this out and share it out. And I want any expert to come. This is a territory, a part of a country separated from the rest and subject to particular jurisdiction in geographical area under the jurisdiction of another country or sovereign power. So let me explain this. DC is its own little, what they would say, country. Outside of DC, now I'm going to give y'all facts that they don't give you on these shows because dudes like Michael Imhotep are ass kissers and stuff like that because they want to be on them shows. Okay. And again, they will try to repeat what I'm saying, but instead of saying, let's talk to somebody who's an expert in it, they rather try to figure it out for themselves. So we're going to help you out, okay? So everybody that's on the feed, you can go look up Title 4 of the United States Code, just for kicks and giggles, bro. Look up Title 4 of the United States Codes, and then you will actually see what was going on. So it's a thing called the Buck Act. This is too much reading, brother. Carter G. Woodson said this also in his book, The Miseducation of the Negro. He said it's too much painstaking research. And as a rule, our lawyers are not interested in that sort of mental exercise. He also said, I can quote Carter G. Woodson and golly. He said the Negro must become like the English gentleman who studies the laws of the land and the interpretations of the court, not because he wants to go into the profession, but every Negro must know it. So if you read The Miseducation of the Negro, it's in there. The Negro must become like the English gentleman who studies the laws of the land and the interpretations of the court, not because he wants to go into the profession, but every Negro must know those things. So you're not going to get that on Roland Martin show. You're not going to get that on Michael Imhotep show. You're not going to get that from Tariq Nasheed. And that's what blew my mind when I saw this, Jarrell. I said, this cannot be real. Hold up. Did you see this? I ain't even want to click on this thing, bro. I ain't even want to click on that, bro. I didn't even want to do that.
No, I ain't see that one.
Dude, this is pathetic.
What he gonna say?
The same rhetoric, brother. These cats ain't pulling up no constitution, no laws where you can find any of this information. But they'll tell you this. The 14th Amendment overturned it. No, it did not. It did not. The 14th Amendment never even mentioned black people. It's not in the Constitution. But the 14th Amendment, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up. The 14th Amendment, right, says all persons born. Now, let's pull up persons for a second, brother. Let's pull up persons for everybody so they can see it. So they won't think I'm making this stuff up. Did y'all look up the Buck Act yet? Make me out of a liar? Title 4, United States Codes. He said, does Tariq qualify? I don't even know. I don't know. Y'all got to tell me. These cats are always the one that's speaking on it. And this type of information, this is what they run from. Because Sabir is going to break it down to his very last compound. So let's go to title. Let's go to persons. According to law, bro. This is not according to Sabir Bey, but it says when you read the Constitution, and you know what's crazy about this, brother? These cats will argue you down when you present this to them. But these cats don't show you nothing. But these cats will, no, brother, that's not what it says. It says this over here. This is the funny part. They will argue you down, bro.
Chilly, and they study the lick of it.
Yeah, because they know that y'all don't read anything. Straight up. Now, I told you, I'm going to stay on here for a minute until we can get an expert in the cipher. Okay? We're going to stay until we get an expert in the cipher. So let's read it together, everybody. A person, an individual or incorporated group having certain legal rights and responsibilities. Then it says this is held to include foreign and domestic corporations. Then it goes down and says here is for the purpose of asserting to those who whom the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution affords protection. So you can protect your property. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but somebody please send this to them because we only are like 58 minutes into this, Jarrell. And I told you I'm gonna make it very plain for everyone. So where's my book at? Okay, 1 second. The crazy part is, right? Your Dominique the Primas, all these smart people that went to the European school, that's who y'all worship. So it says that the 14th Amendment. So let me see if we can pull something else up about the 14th Amendment on persons, bro. Let's pull up another one. But you believe them, and they don't show you nothing. But here it is in black and white. So no, the Constitution does not say that blacks are citizens, nor does it say they have a right to vote. So this is also in law. So I'm going to show you this. The 14th Amendment intended to include corporations as persons. So I need you to understand. So they choose their words very, very carefully, brother. And black folks would get mad. Well, brother, we were born here. Malcolm used to say having kittens in the oven don't make them biscuits. Didn't he say that? Having kittens in the oven don't make them biscuits. You got it? So if the Supreme Court says that corporations are persons, and I just showed you, and again, they're going to say it here in law. This is not Sabir stuff, bro. This is in law. And they deliberately use the word person to include corporations. So here you go. So when you hear these words, persons, who are they really talking about? You think I'm making this up? Hold on, let me show them the book, bro. Go ahead. You going to say something, Jarrell?
We're going to say that Erie Railroad case.
Yeah, the Erie Railroad versus Tompkins case. Also. Yeah. So that book that I just had showed you is this book right here. This is not Sabir. It's this book right here. Oops. It's called Law in America. Not Sabir Bey's Law. Law in America. So let me help y'all out. Here it is right here, Jarrell. It's 2 parts to this. So you got to read through all of this, bro. It's so much that's in here, brother. so much that's in these. Right? So I sat back and mind you, I put all this together like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was figuring this thing out. I said, man, I'm going to do a video on this because everybody wants to talk about it. Whew. So where is it that they made black folks citizens? Any experts? Because I know y'all watching. You know what a brother sent me, bro? Let me share this with you. This brother sent me this. He said he got this video I did in 2001, right? 2001, the overstanding the language of law. I did this video in 2001. Look what he said. I got 2 videos in my email spread. Thanks. I watched the overstanding of law the weekend, and it's fire. I see why people say you should charge more. Look how much I was charging for it, $150. But he said I could see why people say you should charge more, bro. Woo! What do y'all think? Huh?
I said, I'm telling you, like, y'all don't know.
They don't even know what that. I did that video. There was no YouTube, bro. I did that video in 2001. That was from VHS. In 2001, family, I did that video. And he said I should charge more. I think I am going to go up on the price, though. I definitely going to go up on the price. If y'all would like to get it, please get it. So what it is, it's a civics thing. And shout out to my brother Rod. Rod just tuning in. Near Canada? Oh yeah, I just gave him some information too. I just gave him some dope information too. It was crazy, bro. It was about a child support issue. I keep trying to tell y'all, you don't want to play with me, bro. I will play dumb like a mug, bro. I will play dumb and then come at you hard body. So if you would like to support what I do, you can go right here, right now to Zelle, PayPal, Chime, Apple Pay, Cash App, and all of those beautiful things. I'll be right back, brother. We're going to talk. So send us out and bring me some experts to the cipher. We're going to have some fun, brother. All right, let's go. Let's have some fun because I'm going to break you down to your very last compound. Come on in the feed, Michael Imhotep. Come on, Mike. Let's go. I need everybody to share this out to Roland Martin and all those beautiful brothers who are actually fighting for our rights. And let me know which one of our ancestors died for us to vote. Let's go.
What you think, we were done?
We're not done yet.
I know you ain't think we were done. Oh, man.
Let's go.
Nah,
I break it down.
I don't think it's time to be done yet. I got some more I need to say. You know what you think we were done? Yo, KRS 219 albums, many tempos. What's your name again? Whack freestyles, many demos. We don't match, you make me laugh immensely. Like when Michael Jackson married Priscilla Presley. I'm not the one you want to battle at all. You'll be quickly match, you make me laugh immensely. Like when Michael Jackson married Priscilla Presley. I'm not the one you want to battle at all. You'll be quickly forgotten like them Cabbage Patch dolls. Yes, yes, y'all. It's the Blast Master. When I finish rocking, you can't go on.
Share it out, y'all. Let's go. Share it out.
I'm each giving divine speech. I don't really battle, I teach. I'm infinite. You're ignorant. I'm omnipotent. Why you on the stoop just kicking it? Still, you can't escape my verbal rate. I got your demo. It was whack. I erased the tape. Take your ass back to wherever you came. Knowledge reigns supreme. It's all the same. Break it down to the very last compound. See how it sounds? Break it down to the very last compound. See how it sounds? Break it down to the very last compound. See how it sounds? What you
Get these lights up.
What you thought? We were done? Oh, man. No, I'm not the average MC. Nobody told you. Don't let me have to go back and rewrite the bridges over. You a liar, you lied, you have no meaning. If you was rhyming on vibe, I switch over to Keenan. Or vice versa, I stay beaming, you stay teaming for a rap. But you better watch your step. Anywhere in the world, I'll rule ya. In any club, I'll school ya. Don't let this white commercial fool ya. They're really running through ya and making contact. Use a gimmick, the master of lyrics, I'm that. I find that with your crime rap, I may be feeling you, but half that shit you pop stop, you can't really do. Me, on the other hand, brother man, will cut you down like sick as hair, sick as hair. I switch up the format from the doormat. If you call my number, I bet you won't call back. Break it down to the very last compound. See how it sounds? Break it down to the very last compound. See how it sounds? Break it down to the very last compound. See how it sounds? Break it down to the very last compound. See how it sounds? Now roll the dice, cause your ass is too eager. The smoke free for thinking you can come battle a teacher. Whoa, the warning shot now is clearer. The only MC seeing me is in the mirror. Building, destroying you, free feeling and toying you. Taking out 2 of you, 3 of you, 4 of you, 5 of you, just as live as you. Exposing all the lies in you. What you tried to do, B.I.? You're sweating non-stop. Crew jetting up the block. You call them, crew come back, but they won't stop. It's getting critical. Chances of escape are minimal. I'm having you for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner too. Getting into you like a bacteria. What do you think? I'm one of these kids you be battling at your high school cafeteria? Yo, fuck it. Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. I leave that ass stunned. Break it down to the very last compound. See how it sounds? You still guessing? Down to the very last compound. Stressing. We can't be done. See how it sounds? We hold exact mathematics. See how it sounds? We hold exact mathematics. Exact mathematics. We hold exact mathematics. And stay fresh for 1998.
Whoever step in this arena with me, I will break you down to the very last compound. So don't ever think that I'm running from anybody. I'll run to it like I ran to that bullet when I got shot 5 times. But that's a whole nother subject. So Jarrell, that's it. This is the Dred Scott case. You see what it says, the Louisiana Territory. So what they were talking about is territorial. So they have jurisdiction over the territory, but I know that we're not being taught this in law. They don't even get it, brother. But you got all these experts like Tariq Nasheed and Roland Martins and the Michael Imhoteps and brother. I'm going to tell you, because they are disrespecting us. If it's a right, how can the right be taken from you? Come on,
you know, make it make sense.
They don't want to make it make sense, brother. Nope.
Voting Rights Act.
Actors
Act.
But you know what's funny? That these people know that. They know. So what they do, this is why they only allow certain people in certain rooms, because they know that because I went to Howard and I have an influence on the masses and they're going to listen to me. I have 5 PhDs from the white men's school. So that's why they push those types of people on. Not even knowing that niggas are wearing nooses on their necks, nigga. Hold up. Do you know that that's a noose on your neck? Did anybody let Michael Imhotep know that he wearing a noose? Hold up. Let's hold up. Hold up. Did anybody tell Michael Imhotep he has a noose on his neck? That nigga probably got dressed up just for that part. Straight up. He probably got dressed just to be on Roland Martin's show like that, nigga. I'm going to act like I'm smart. Let me tell you something. Was it George Washington Carver said, if you wanted to see my clothes, because he never was dressed up, right? He said, I would have sent my clothes to you. It's not what I'm looking like. And see, this is the thing about black folks. This is the inferiority part. We try to dress to try to impress somebody as if we're smart. I didn't even watch the whole video. I was skipping through this, brother. And you're right. They never even showed the Constitution in here. Jarrell, they never showed the Constitution in here.
Yeah.
Where's the Constitution at? Why haven't they pulled up the Constitution or the Bill of Rights? And they talk about the House and the Senate and the whole 9 yards, and none of those things was pulled up. Okay. Let's go back to territory. Remember I showed you the territory, right? Louisiana. Let me pull up the territory one more time, just in case they didn't get it. That was the Dred Scott was based on. A territory is a part of a country separate from the rest and subject to particular jurisdiction. DC is actually a territory, people. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but it is definitely a territory. So let me explain this to y'all. This is why I told y'all to go read the Buck Act. So outside of DC, they were supposed to be 10 square miles. So what they were doing is they went beyond the 10 square miles. So if you are in a territorial zone of DC, you are protected property. Does that make sense, brother? I mean,
yep.
Is it making sense? I don't think I'm speaking, like one of these educated fools.
No,
so
very plain.
If you understand territory, if you studied law, you will understand a territory. They have the jurisdiction to do what they're doing, bro. They have the jurisdiction to do what they're doing. Black folks just don't get it. Now, if I'm wrong, you could bring me an expert. So let's go to the Constitution real fast. Let's go to what the 14th Amendment talks about. That's the 14th Amendment. An alien is a person within the meaning of the Due Process Clause. Where's the black people at, bro? Where does it say black people at? But people keep saying our people died for us to vote. See, I'm not interested in trying to get 1 million views, brother, because I'll take anybody 1 million views from Boyce Watkins on down, brother. Whoever is talking about this subject, and I need y'all to share it out. Put it in the algorithm. Debunk what I'm saying. A person is in the meaning of the 14th Amendment. I didn't write that. That's in law dictionaries. I didn't write that, bro. But the one thing that these cats that y'all watch on these platforms don't show you anything, and they'll tell you, well, brother, the 14th Amendment made black citizens. Where, Sway? Where? Somebody rescue me. Where in the Constitution it made black citizens? Come on. I mean, I do have the Constitution right here. Where? I do have it over here too. I'm trying to figure out where else do I have it at. How about this one? Where is it at in the Constitution? Can I find that it said black people are in the Constitution? Damn. Hold up. Look what page I just flipped to, bro. Alleged danger from the power of the union of the state to the state governments. Nigga, I just look. Who is that? James Madison, bro. Look what page I just popped up on. Municipalities. Damn, can I go close? Can y'all see it? Damn, ain't that some stuff? Wow. Kind of crazy, ain't it? But they don't show y'all this. But you believe them because they sound good. I need to just start telling y'all anything, and you believe me. Maybe y'all will drop some loot on me. Hold up. The rights of the colonist man as a man. Yeah, make that make sense, bro. I'm only an hour. So you think that Roland Martin and them couldn't cover that within an hour, bro? But I just shared. Let me show you some more.
Man.
Let's give you another one. Just for kicks and giggles. Alien, a foreign-born person who has not qualified as a citizen of the country, but an alien is a person within the meaning of the due process clause of the U.S. Constitution. That's another one. Well, I'm going to give you step by step how this works, bro. Step by step. Okay, these are all law dictionaries. So let me show you another one. And you have to understand Clarence. What is it? Clarence Thomas. He in D.C. That's a district area, bro. That's a whole nother subject. But here's another one. The black aliens of Illinois. What? Shut your mouth, bro. This is now we just up on an hour and 17 minutes. So I could cover this thing within an hour, brother, with straight up facts. But again, it's our people that have the problem. It's not Sabir. It's just the ones that, like to watch the videos and repeat exactly what I'm saying instead of reaching out to me and saying what's Sabir. That goes for the Dominique DePrimas. That goes for the Roland Martins. That goes for any of these people that y'all, the Dr. Greg Carrs and all of these beautiful people that y'all watch on social media. Do you dislike them? No. I don't even say hate is a hurtful word. I don't even say hate. But they're going to all get their due, B, because you know exactly what you're doing. Okay? You know exactly what you're doing. So let's go here. Let's see what Clarence Thomas said before we go to Paul Robeson. Give me 1 second. Look at that. Oh, look what Clarence Thomas said. Stop. Looky here. No, it didn't. But black folks don't want the truth. I told you. Brother, listen. Negroes are going to get stoned, brother. They're going to definitely get stoned. So let's go a little. Let me show you something else. Give me 1 second, bro. So things that we're not talking about, Jarrell, is human rights, and we're not talking about nationality. Ain't that kind of crazy? Nationality and human rights are the two things that black folks are not talking about. But we'll get into that in 1 second.
Yeah.
So this is my youngin. This is Paul Robeson's house in Philadelphia. I took my youngin there. That's the great Paul Robeson. Right? Do you know this man spoke over 20-something languages? That's Paul Robeson's house in Philadelphia, in my hometown. So I was home, I think it was summer last couple. Well, I'm always home. But let me show you something else. This is Paul Robeson, and I want you to hear Paul Robeson speak on something. This is Paul Robeson. This is in West Philadelphia. What is it, 1898 to 1970? Damn. That's Paul Robeson's house, right? So let's go to the video where Paul Robeson said this, bro. Yo, this is ill. Hold up.
That the American Negro, who for so long has been a
they say black or Negro?
second-class citizen in the United States.
Still is, I'm sorry.
Negro, who for so long has been a second-class citizen in the United
Still
States.
is, I'm sorry.
Well, how is it that he's contributed so much to American culture?
Well,
music, dance, everything you can think of.
Well, I have to be very modest about that. I would say certainly as we look at the African peoples in Nigeria, for example, I just got a wonderful invitation to go to Nigeria to be present at the installation at the Governor General Ezekwe, an old friend, who will now, and I had to cable him. I'm in Australia. I certainly would like to be with you, but I'm out here with some good folks. But I'll get to Nigeria later.
Do you feel that Africa is to some extent an affinity for it, a home, or do you still feel America is essentially your home? How do you feel?
Well, let me come. Yeah, I'll come to that in just a second. But to come back to it, so I would say the Africans and the American Negroes have turned out to be an extraordinarily gifted people. The great tragedy is that by not making us full-class citizens as yet in America, they may be losing, I don't know how much yet. And to come back, I would say that unquestionably, I am an American.
Okay, so let me explain this to y'all. And Brother Jarrell, do me a favor, look this word up. He said full-class citizen. How many of y'all ever heard of this word called denizen? Let me see if I can find it too, brother. How many of y'all ever heard of this word called denizen?
Oh, shit.
Anybody? Okay, so let me walk y'all through some civics real fast, okay? So I'm gonna play this one more time. I pulled it up, brother. Don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself. But let's go back one more time.
I am an American. And to come back, I'm losing, I don't is that by not making us full-class citizens as yet in America, tragedy is that by not making us full-class citizens as yet in America, they may be losing, I don't know how much yet. And to come back.
Now, this is what people don't understand, brother, and this is basic civics. I'm gonna pull up. I found it, brother. That's okay. I thank you, man. But I'm going so people can see this. So remember I told you about the alien, right? When did they make black full citizens? A denizen in law is a person with intermediate status, right, between an alien and a citizen. I didn't write this, brother. So this is not Sabir's job. This is your professor's job at these universities to teach about this. So what he was saying is that we're not, y'all not, but we are as Moors, if that makes sense, brother. If that makes sense. So let's pull some more up. I'm going to give you the history and the facts. In modern legal usage, if you don't know what this is, right, in the U.S., but the CFR, which stands for the Code of Federal Regulations, that's what that stands for. The Code of Federal Regulations 331.1. We find alien, enemy. Remember what I told you about the alien trading with the Alien Enemies Act? If I told you about that, so that's what the blacks are. So if you confuse and you can debunk anything I'm saying, y'all, if you're an expert, please feel free. Please, 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 I beg you to feel free because I know how much work it takes to do this. So if I just showed you that the black people under the 14th Amendment are aliens, you're the alien, nigga. So Paul Robeson is telling them if they was to make us full citizens, they cannot make you full citizens. So you cannot get mad at anybody else that comes here and go through a nationalization process. Why get mad? You should get mad at the black people. I hope I'm making this plain, brother. They didn't already gave it to you. Emancipation Proclamation, which means to be set free and to proclaim. This is not a law. This is a public announcement. If you read this, you will understand this too. It's in here. So they can never tell you that. It talks about slaves. I would do it. It's like it's all in here. Emancipation Proclamation. So when Paul Robeson was talking about the full citizenship, you call it's a denizen, people. I guarantee you, Roland Martin, though, maybe they'll talk about it after I do this video. Maybe. And they can reach out to me and I can explain it to them. How about that part? So let's go back to Paul Robeson.
Back. I would say that unquestionably, I am an American, born there. My father slaved there. Upon the backs of my people was developed the primary wealth of America, the primary wealth. You have to have accumulated wealth to start, to build. You did it another way here in Australia. You had to build your accumulated wealth too. You just came and took it. You know what I mean? And that's what they did in most of the countries. It's what you Europeans did. You just took it. We got to catch up with you a little bit. And so in America. So there's a lot of America that belongs to me yet. You understand? But just like a Scottish American is proud of being from Scotland, I'm proud for being African. Now, in our school books, they tried to tell me that all Africans were savages till I got to London and found most of the Africans I knew were going to Oxford and Cambridge and doing very well and learned their culture. And even once somebody had the temerity after one had conquered the Chinese people and imposed upon them the opium trade and everything else to suggest that they were a backward people, just the people who had been civilized. So
that sound familiar? And that's what they educated these black folks and made y'all feel inferior.
Long over the rest of you folks didn't make any sense at all. So somewhere it was wonderful to find about.
Let me tell you something. How crazy? Do you know about the opium crisis in China, brother? Y'all know the story about opium and crisis in China? How they brought the opium?
Yeah.
You know that? They killed everybody that was on opium. So maybe they need to kill some of these smart dummies out here, nigga. Just get rid of these niggas because these niggas are the problem, bro. These niggas are the problem. So China dealt with that. Remember I told you about Montezuma, right? He was stoned by his own people, right? He was stoned by his own people. So maybe we need to stone these Negroes that's selling y'all out. Paul Robeson, he was a threat. Paul Robeson was a threat. He spoke over, you can look it up online, how many languages he spoke. He knew the languages. So when I was in London, right, I was in the UK. Let me show you something, bro. I was in the UK. I spoke in the UK. Let me pull this up. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. So I spoke in the UK, right? This is me in the UK. I spoke there on a panel, right? And it was so funny. The dude at the end of the chair, this is in the UK. Dude, Jarrell, this nigga fell out the chair, bro, because he thought I was talking about the Moorish Science Temple, brother. It was something came up about the Moors, and it was like me saying, where's the Moorish Science Temple at in Africa? Like, it was crazy as hell, right? So this dude fell out the chair. He fell off the stage right there because he it's funny as hell. He thought I was one of those Moors that says Islam, Islam-isms. No, nigga, that nigga fell out the chair, dude. He was like, because I was saying, nah, brother, I'm not from a Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. That's what I told him. This place was so packed when I was there, right? And I'm so humble. I let everybody talk, but everybody wanted me to talk. Hold up. Everybody wanted me to build, brother, but I was like, no, brother, I'm just here. They flew me out here to just, that's me, right? So as I'm sitting there, and this brother right here with the locks, like he didn't understand it because of Moors was talking crazy. So him and I became cool. So the whole place was like geeked. And again, this is in the UK when I was there. And I'm building about who the Moors are. And I'm like, no, the Moors is not a religious group of people because that's what people believe. This is the whole. And they was coming up to ask me. She was introducing her daughter to me saying, oh man, I love what you were doing. And that's what I, me being me. But it was dope, bro, in the UK. So they know who to sponsor and who to back. They know who to sponsor. And this is why people always asking me these questions about, well, Sabir, why they afraid to talk to you? I don't know. Y'all have to ask those questions to these people, family. I don't have the answers to them things. I don't know. But I was paid pounds when I went to the London, though. I definitely was paid pounds. And that day was so crazy, brother. I stayed there for like a whole month in the UK. And when I was there, they was telling me that they wanted me to stay. I couldn't live in it. It's too gloomy there, brother. I'm like, I might as well stay in Philadelphia. But it's like an overcast almost every day out there. It's like gloomy. And they would say, yo, you should go to Oxford and Cambridge. That's what they was telling me. One elder was driving me back. He said, you should go to Oxford and Cambridge and teach inside Oxford and Cambridge. That's what he told me. He said, you be a beast in that joint, bro. Straight up. But this is the reality, and this is what is happening, brother. It's the black people, brother, that's in the United States that's the problem. They're the problem, because it's like they don't want someone to know something more than them, as if I'm taking something from them. No. If we're talking about fighting for our people, let's fight for our people then. Because the reality is, it's really Africa's gift to America. Like Paul Robeson said, it's Africa's gift, not foundational Black American. Africa's gift to America. You wish that these cats was giving you something like this on these platforms, brother. You wish. So if you got a problem with me, y'all can jump into the cipher right now and get it over with. Get it off your chest. Get it over with. You know what I mean? I'm with it. But if you like it, please share it and please support it. So let's move forward. So if Marquette can ask for $400 for 30 minutes, I shouldn't have a problem getting $400 or $500 within 2 hours. And I'll get back to that in 1 second. This is in the Constitution. What is the Constitution? And you see what it says? The compact among sovereign states. But they're telling you that somebody claiming to be sovereign citizen, brother. No, the states are sovereign. The state can change what they want to change, brother. And that's what is happening. The state can change what it wants to change. Period. It's sovereign. How much more do I have to prove to people? If you're an expert just coming into the feed, please hit the link and jump in. Let me put my banner. Let me put it back up here one more time. If you are an expert in the Constitution, please feel free, click that link. If you're an expert. So, what book would that be in, Brother Jarrell? It would be, wow. Here it is. So, sovereignty is in it. Let's go a little further in sovereignty. Since y'all, oh my God, that's that Moorish sovereign citizen talk, Brother Jarrell.
Stay away from that.
Yeah, of course they have to do that. And they put up money to do that. State sovereign immunity. Make it make sense, brother. Come on, family. I can go down the line. I'm going to show you every book with sovereignty, but this is the crazy part. If anybody ever read the Dred Scott Sovereign People in the Law Dictionary, sovereign people in the Law Dictionary goes like this. Sovereign people is the political body consisting of the entire number of citizens and qualified electors who in their collective capacity possesses the power of sovereignty and exercise them through their chosen representative. See Scott versus Sanford. Sovereign people is the political body consisting of the entire number of citizens and qualified electors who in their collective capacity possesses the power of sovereignty and exercise them through their chosen representative. You can't choose them being black. So why do you think they say they're going to change what they're changing? That's called state sovereign immunity. Facts 101 once again. This is another constitutional law. None of these dudes that y'all sit up here and cheerlead for Marquette or any of them cats are showing you any of this. There it is. So they have a right to change what they want to change. Why get mad? I'm gonna show you another one on sovereignty. You want to see something else on sovereignty? All this is in there. This is in their works, bro. All this is in their works. Sovereign right, sovereign power to make and enforce laws, sovereign people. Here it is, the political body consisting. Now, in a law dictionary, it talks about C. Scott versus Sanford. There is no such thing as sovereign people, sovereign citizen. And this is what my man didn't understand. He's a judge in Philadelphia. Yeah, it's a judge in Philly. This nigga didn't even know what, and he's scared to come and talk to me on the phone. He's scared to be on the live with me. And I'm gonna show you, he's scared to death to be on the live with me. He tell I'm too busy. No, Negro, you're part of the problem. So let me show you what books this is in. That says sovereign people, sovereign immunity. So if you picked up any of these, I think it's in Title 42. Let me show you something. This is actually in Title 42 of the PA codes. This is me inside the law libraries. This is what I do. You follow me? It's in there. So when people sit up and say that's that sovereign citizen talk, come on, family. Stop. Stop it. Stop. Black people in the United States are the worst, brother. Seriously. Let me show you who the brother I'm talking about. He's a judge in Philadelphia, and I sent it to Judge Joe Brown. And if Judge Joe Brown and him want to come on together with me, they can arrange it. Whatever it is, you got to deal with it from tax purposes. I'm fine too. But if you're talking about the people, let's go, brother. I go up against toe-to-toe with any judge, any prosecutor, any DA, any city council member. He's a judge in Philadelphia. And I remember before he started, he was in law school. I don't need to go to law school. I don't want to go to law school. You got to be a crook to be in law school, bro. You got to be a crook to be in law. He's a judge in Philadelphia. His name is Judge Alvin Ross. He used to be my neighbor in Philadelphia before he became a judge. You can look him up. That's him right there. Trial judge, nigga. You think I'd be running from these people? Why would I run from any of these cats that's on social media, bro? You got to be crazy. No, they run from me. Believe me. It's me they run from. So you think I don't sit with these cats and what they tell me? He was asking me, do you do civics classes? I said, yeah, if people put up the money, we can do civics classes no matter where. I can come back to Philadelphia, chill in Philly for a minute just to do civics classes, but we don't have the people that want to put up the money, but we'll put up the money for this. What's that boy name? Marquette will put up 50,000 or was going to put up 30,000 to do something with Tariq Nasheed. That boy Marquette. Come on, family. Or this is him right here. So somebody sent my video to Marquette. Y'all see that boy Marquette, right? Marquette, your greatness. Why would he call him your greatness? Can we get up with an interview with Sabir? Somebody shared the video with me, right? Then he goes and says, we live now. Come on the feed, family. Thank you. And then Marquette, you can book Mr. Burton for 30 minutes, calling into the show for $400. I'm not calling nobody's show, brother. Nigga, this nigga said 30 minutes, and I just gave y'all an hour and 39 minutes. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy.
For real.
What would I get for 30 minutes from that guy? Somebody help me out. Y'all keep thinking these people is about us, brother. They're not about us, family. It's not about it. I keep telling y'all. It's not about the truth. It's crazy. It's not about it. So I'm gonna do another intermission real quick, and let's see if we can get, if I can get $400. And I gave y'all an hour and 39 minutes. Let's see. Let's see if we can make this thing pop, brother. Okay. So you can support or you can share these videos And again, don't ask me to come on nobody's show unless you're going to pay me now. Because if this dude can ask for $400 for 30 minutes, woo, I want to know what he's giving up.
Battery 80%.
We're going to take another quick intermission, brother, before we get, I'm going to give y'all another 10 more minutes, 10 or 15 more minutes, all right? 10 or 15 minutes. Let's see if we can run that bag, bro.
I had a dream that one day, the guys in my generation would not be afraid to be themselves, but walk in the divine purpose that God has set for their lives. We're gonna be alright.
We're gonna be alright.
I had a dream that one day, my generation will have more self-love, respect themselves more, and walk in a divine purpose that God has set for their lives. We're gonna be okay.
Track jackets, dreads, true religion jeans, and a weedy smell. Everybody dressed alike, deep as hell. Unprepared for life, could barely read a spell. Shorties walking around scared to be themselves. No one out is serving in the streets prevail. 6 feet below the ground or either jail. Rappers that they follow after feed them tails. Another generation's been set up to fail. If I can just make it through the night, trying to find the light. It's hard for me to say if I'll ever touch the sky, 'cause I'm so afraid to try. Dreams to break away, I know someday I'll fly. The streets don't take my life. Tracks in their heads, blue extensions lead through their feet and nails. In and out of smoke sessions, chiefing L's. Skirts lifted just enough to see their tails. Everybody walking down the street they nailed. Granny raised the seed they've barely even held.
Listen, man.
Attracting STDs more than they do males. Lack of self-esteem because of deep betrayal. Another generation's been set up to fail. Granny always said she's praying through the night, that my beauty's deep inside. It's hard for me to try and spread my wings and fly. My self-esteem has died. I've only thrown away what used to be my life. You can hear my cries. Freedom bells will never ring, misled by what our leaders tell. Speeches filled with information that complete you pale, but won't disclose it. Please expose it. I need more details. The money's tall, but everything shall fall that comes from greed. Philosophies of prophecies are that of Socrates. The honey stands for money bands that come at running speed. The stunning bands are thrilled as bills fill up the floor with cheese. A mother overly protects the savers from the falls. Tried their best to lock the doors, but couldn't save us all. If praying hands could heal a man and bring him back to life, and it's done in Jesus' name, then how can you deny the Christ? This life is real, my pipes are filled with tools that break through stones. Send vibrant chills throughout your bones when you embrace my songs. I hope and pray there'll come a day while walking on this trail, the God of faith will shine his grace and save us from ourselves. We excel before we die, so water's running dry inside the wells. The public schools that I attended should have been and burned. The teacher said before we die, so water's running dry inside the wells. The public schools that I attended should have been and burned. The teacher said they still get paid if I don't ever learn. Our neighborhoods have been destroyed, the murder rate is huge. They pick and choose and half the deaths will never make the news. The shorties feeling pipes cause they think that's how rappers live. I told the planet twice, and that ain't how these rappers live. The old say that the young has no respect but not a soul. The young say that the old cannot connect because they old. The woman say the man's equivalent is of a dog. The man say never trust a woman, they'll betray a frog. Light skin say that dark is less because they not as fine. Dark skin say that light skin's just as filthy as the swine. The rich say they despise the poor because they should get their own. The poor say they despise the rich just because they own. The saints say that the sinners will be caught up in the clouds. The sinners say the saints all think they holier than thou. The church say that the streets should live for Christ, forgive and quit. The streets say that the church are filled with none but hypocrites.
So, Brother Jarrell, I think I'm in the wrong field dealing with y'all. So I give people the opportunity, brother, but maybe I need to get like Marquette and start doing some crazy stuff. So again, bro, this thing is real, and again, it's an algorithm thing that people love drama. We love the drama, bro. We don't want truth. We want to be seen, and this is why I said seek respect and not attention. Seek respect and not attention. So I'm gonna start disrespecting people ungodly because that's what I think people love. That's what black people love. So those are some more books. So I'm almost finished, brother, because I don't even know what else to say to y'all, you know. But let me show you this book that I do have. This is the Dred Scott book. And I was in DC when I saw this. I do have the book, people, for the record. This is the Dred Scott book. It's $3,000. What the hell? And I do have this book. So what will make a book $3,000, brother? And if you really read that book, it will really open you up. I can talk about the Dred Scott case straight up, but nobody don't want to pay for that. You want to pay for the lies, okay? So I'm almost finished, brother. So give me 1 second. I have a couple of more things I want to share with y'all. If Roland Martin is in DC, and I want to go here, brother. I want to go inside this building during the daytime. This is a building called Human Rights Campaign Building in DC.
Yeah, that would be crazy to see what they got in there.
I want to go in there. I just don't, if people would support it, I mean, what the hell? What do you want me to do? Human Rights Campaign envision a world where lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people are ensured equality and embraced as a full member of society at home, at work, in every community. I go in and say, hi, how you doing? But that's in DC, bro. You got to have a little bit of fun. But no, that's in DC. So I don't even know what else to tell people on this feed, brother. I just did it. I finished up another book, y'all, for the record, too, on Ibn Khaldun. So this is the campaign building book building that's inside, that's in DC. And tell Roland Martin to roll his behind over there to go see that. I was there. So we don't want to touch on human rights, and nor do none of these people want to touch on nationality. These are the things that they don't. Civil rights is only for discrimination, brother. Civil rights is only for discrimination. It's that simple. Human rights does not apply to black people. Not at all. It don't apply to black people. So I asked, brother, for the hour and 48 minutes for an expert on the Constitution to come. So people, don't think that I was running. I would let them speak, and I would let them present their case to me. So what y'all can do, since y'all did not support the show, you can share this out to everybody, and I can come back later on. You see what I'm saying? And we can go here. We can do this all day and all night. So I just gave you something more than $400 for a half an hour to talk about. So I got a couple more slides I want to show before I get off this feed and call my daughter. Okay. Read. And they even asked for support in here, bro. God damn. Sabir, the only person that shouldn't ever ask for support. So Let me show you. There's another one too on this. Give me 1 minute. So if you want to have a conversation on the voting or citizenship, and I do want to do this before 1492 tour, brother. I really want to do it.
In a decision that could open the door for Republican-led states to eliminate Black and Latino electoral districts that tend to favor Democrats. The decision was an about-face for the court, which less than 3 years ago reached a different outcome in a similar case from Alabama. An effort spurred by President Donald Trump to preserve the slim Republican majority in the House of Representatives already has led to a nationwide round of redistricting. The Supreme Court has struck down Louisiana's second majority.
What did that Dred Scott case say, bro? Okay, so let's move forward. So NAACP stands for what? Why are they still around calling themselves NAACP, bro?
Colored people.
What the hell? That's a bit. You better look up. That's a 501c3, bro. But you don't want to. You don't really want to talk about the real colored people, do y'all? About J.E. Rogers. You don't really want to talk about that one. You don't want to talk about the real colored people. Nah, y'all don't want that. So, let me see. Do you got any more? I think I covered almost everything, brother. And send this to, to Marquette, because Marquette was going to put up 30,000. Tell Marquette I'll give him the opportunity to pick 5 people, and he can give me $2,000. He could pick 5 people, and I give them an hour. No, in fact, man, we're gonna raise the stakes, man. Let's tell them 5. No, let's say 10,000. I'll take 10,000. So tell Marquette that. Share this to brother Marquette and tell him I'll take the $10,000. How about that part? 10 racks. Since he want to give up 30 racks for Tariq and this other guy. And he can pick his 5 people, including himself. Okay? So let me see if I can pull my other book up, brother. Give me 1 second. I did a book on Ibn Khaldun, brother. So bear with me, y'all, before I wrap this thing up. And I think everybody should get it. And I'll probably do a video on Ibn Khaldun, brother Jarrell.
Yeah. World's greatest trap.
But you know what's crazy? You heard what happened to that boy that you don't hear foundational Black Americans talking about that boy that cut that girl up. Do you hear about this shit, man? That boy that
no. Oh, the singer.
That nigga cut that girl. He was messing with that girl since he was 11 years old, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Crazy. Where's Tariq?
11. He was 18. Yeah.
He was 18. She was 11 years old, nigga. Then he said it was a whole story behind it, talking about she was pregnant and the whole 9 yards. I say what? And then they got bro.
Name tattooed on the finger.
He cut her fingers off, nigga. Like, just think about how, bruh. Where's the foundational Black Americans talking about that at? I told you, Negroes pick and choose what makes them feel good, and that's what Tariq Nasheed does. He will pick and choose what makes it feel good, but you ain't talking about the foundational Black American who cut that girl up, that young girl up, but everybody's making money talking about BAM. Crazy, right? That's why I said these niggas are hypocrites, bro, on so many levels. Hypocrites, nothing about history and no law, bro. And that's why I'm sick of it. This is why, brother, I'm gonna really start. And I told you yesterday on the phone, I'm gonna start coming at a lot of these dudes, brother. So y'all better gear up, okay? Gear up, because I'm gonna come at every last one of you. So the best thing to do, don't ever part my name. Don't never say my name out your mouth. Okay? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to see if I can pull my other book up. This is another book I did on Ibn Khaldun. And yes, he was from Yemen, but he's in Tunis. He's Tunisian. That's me in Tunisia, in Tunis, and that's Ibn Khaldun behind me. If you don't know who Ibn Khaldun is, tell Roland Martin, tell Boyce Watkins, let's talk about Ibn Khaldun. If you want to get this book, you can definitely email me, okay? So I'm going to start making hard copies of these things, man. So that's in Tunis. So this is Ibn Khaldun. If you want to talk about economics, this is Ibn Khaldun. And this is me in Tunis. So I think I'm really done, bro. Let me see something. Yeah, I think I'm done, man. Done talking. My email is right there. I'm going to close out in a minute, brother Jarrell. So just bear with me, y'all.
For sure. Making it plain.
Yeah, Malcolm said make it plain, brother. Malcolm said make it plain. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have some fun. Y'all reach out to me. I thank y'all for joining me for an hour and 56 minutes. But share it out. I got to go, brother.
Reach out and touch the love.
Reach out and touch me, baby.
Oh, baby.
Why we don't respect us? Why do we reject us? Why do we look down on us when we behind them desks? Why every time I'm in the drive-thru to order breakfast, my own kind at the window talking to me reckless? Why we hate each other?
Touch the love that I have for you. Oh, baby.
Why we don't respect us? Why do we reject us? Why do we look down on us when we behind them desks? Why every time I'm in the drive-thru to order breakfast, my own kind at the window talking to me reckless? Why we hate each other just because we matching dresses? Shopping at the same mall, it should be expected. Why we not accepted? Why do we accept it? Why every time we get into it, murder's the objective? Why every time we talk to us, we get so aggressive? Why do we get so belligerent when we address us? Why we let us see you down but hate when you progressive? Jealous of my own brother cause he drive a Lexus. Get a ticket, we the only ones that don't contest it. But if you throw a picnic, you can bet that we the freshest. Why we always pick our dark-skinned and win in second? Dog and call them names and in reality they precious. We seem to be the only ones that's targeting our ethnic. Record labels bogus cause they marketing the records. Today the album drops but our tomorrow gets affected. Long as we keep signing on the margin by them exes. Blinded by the money, a Ferrari and a necklace. Okay, so the album hot, but what about the message? What about the little ghetto kids that we've infected? Kill us cause we wearing hoodies, now we screaming justice. What about the children that's been murdered by detectives? What about the ones that get us bogusly arrested? What about discrimination cause how we complected? Let me calm down so you can properly digest it. When will we address it? When will we adjust it? Fashion seems to be the only thing that we obsessed with. Every nationality that's breathing we impressed with. Our own kind's the only one we screaming we don't mess with. Facebook friends the only people we connect with. Care about our phones more than anything we blessed with. All we do is down talk each other to the next click. Everything is competition, especially if you dress slick. Yeah, we unemployed, but you can bet we got on fresh kicks. Drama's the effect of everything that we oppressed with. Willie Lynch's letter was prophetically a death wish. Tell me how can we destroy the beauty we was blessed with?
Gemstones, baby, Chicago. It's the elephant in the room, brother.
There's an elephant in the room. Wait, shh. Wait, listen. Can you hear that?
It's Sabir. He's the elephant in the room. That's my man Gemstones from Chi-Town, man. So shout out to everybody from the Chi. I thank y'all. Please do me a favor and share these videos out. Peace, brother Jarrell.
Peace.